On this episode of Purposely Curious, we discuss one of this year's Halloween's biggest surprises, the independent movie Terrifier 2. The movie already had a solid cult following, but now with the spread by word of mouth, it is making millions when it only took $250,000 to make. But what makes this movie even more exciting to talk about is that Leone can be seen at the end of the movie following the closing credits. So if you're ready for some Halloween horror, get nice and cozy as this episode starts now. Hello, Leone.
Hello, Mary. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's season screamings, I guess you would say.
Yes.
It's Halloween week.
Exactly. And I believe, I don't know about you, but I saw people posting Halloween parties already.
Damn. I have not seen anybody that I know post yet. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, though. That's cool. That means that, Halloween's
People
coming
are-
back. The Halloween party
Yeah.
is coming back,
Yeah. So you guys, we talked about in the last episode, we kind of mentioned how we were on Tall Boy Radio from our friends in the UK.
Yes.
And so one of the interesting things that they mentioned, and one of the things that we touched on, Leone, was that Halloween is not very big over there.
Right.
Not as big as it is here. But one of the fun facts that, we kind of talked about was how they're very censored and more conservative when it comes to movies and, like you couldn't say teenage ninja mutant. Oh, what? Can you say it in the right order? It's
Is
been
it
so long.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Yes, but they couldn't say ninja, which is like weird, right? Anyways, so Leone had brought up a good fact, and I think you should share since this is going to be about Halloween. Movies being released even, decades later?
Oh, yes. In the, I guess in the 70s, 80s, in the UK, in England, and I guess Scotland as well, and Ireland, they went through a thing called the video nasties era, where all these movies that were coming out at that time were illegal. They were banned. So they never got a release. They never went to the theaters. You couldn't watch them on home video. And we're talking about movies like 1973, The Exorcist, or Wes Craven's first movie, The Last House on the Left, or The Hills Have Eyes. At that time, these movies were pretty extreme because, like, for example, Last House on the Left has to do with, a group of guys and girl, that basically brutally, attack two friends, right, who are out in the woods, and they rape, and kill one of them or both of them, and the whole, it's like a revenge story, right? But the fact that, the way it was filmed, like, it felt real, it looked real. Like, even though there was no, like, sexual, like, what do you call it? There's nudity, but it wasn't showing the actual sex acts. Like, it wasn't pornography, but it felt that way. It felt dirty, and those movies were banned, and there's no, and another scary movies like controversial, like The Exorcist, was also banned. And it's weird because they were banned for like 20 something, almost 30 years, I think. So when you ask people like, hey, did you see the movie? And they're like, yeah, I saw it in 1995 or 98. And then when you start talking about the movie, they're like, I never saw that, because they cut out actual scenes from the movie. They edited, So they went through many, many years of, censorship. And they called that, the video nasties era, and there's actually a horror movie that was made about that last year. That's actually really, really good.
No way. What's it called? Maybe the guys over there can watch it.
Yeah, I think it's called Censor, and she's a UK she's a UK filmmaker, and her name is Prono Bailey Bond. So we had her on the podcast. Her movie went to Sundance, and we interviewed her at 2 a.m. right after the movie came out of Sundance.
Wow.
And she won like all the awards, because the movie is like, the look and feel is like the 1970s, and it has to do with that era of those movies that were banned, and it's really good. It's a really good movie, but it's so weird because we never had that here. Like, you and I missed all these movies in the theaters, So if we saw any of these theater movies, they were on video. Like, you went to rent at your local video shop, before there were Blockbuster, then eventually there were Blockbuster videos, and then eventually DVDs, and even then, a lot of these movies are not on DVD, because not for any particular reason other than nobody knows who owns the rights anymore because these companies don't exist anymore,
Right.
So, but yeah, interesting times that they had like massive censorship, and I know that one of the Tallboy Radio guys, I don't know if it was it Andy? No, was it who mentioned it? They mentioned the woman's name who fought against it. And I can't remember. I think it's Mary something. I think I'm gonna have to go back and listen. Who fought against it? I guess got these movies, to finally come out.
The other thing too. So how I was talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So they were called, basically Hero Turtles.
I wonder why. Was there something against the
Yes. So I was about to say.
Okay.
So basically, they had strict protection of minors laws, and so they had to censor the series. And ninja is considered, I guess, a word for assassin, and so the Broadcasting Corporation deemed the British Broadcasting Corporation, which is the BBC, deemed the word ninja to have excessively violent connotations for a child's program. And then they also edited Michelangelo's usage of his nunchucks. They were edited or removed from the cartoons.
That's so weird.
Yeah, so I thought it was very interesting when we were talking about just horror movies and how it's like a huge thing here. They were, even because I vaguely remember that, but I thought that was interesting.
And it's crazy. Much like those guys were saying, like, you can watch any movie or TV over there, a commercial, and you'll probably see some girl sunbathing nude, or topless, or some guy in whatever, and it's like no big deal, because they grew up with that, right? It was just openly in the media culture,
Right.
Where here we never grew up with that, and we still don't, and everything gets censored, and when we see nudity, we're like, oh, we have to double check. We're like, oh, it's on Netflix, that's why, or HBO, or it's so weird that something like that would be censored, but yet when it comes to like sex, it's like, oh no, it's open, it's cool, people know, everybody has sex,
yeah. So what are we talking about today?
Well, it's
already know.
It's Halloween week. This is like the funnest week of the year
for you, huh?
No way. I bet you're the one having way more fun than I am.
Probably.
And by the way, remember when I asked you what version of Wonder Woman you were gonna be?
Yes.
You pretty much gave it away.
I did, didn't I?
You did. So if you guys want to know, you're gonna have to go back and listen to that episode. But no, I thought it's pretty cool though. I thought it's pretty cool. I'm glad you're putting like effort into it and thought, and because I've lost the Halloween spirit this year. I'm not dressing up or anything. I'm like, oh, I hope to be home and doing nothing,
Oh, stop it. It's one of the things is I work on Monday, so Halloween falls on Monday. And so I was joking with a patient that maybe I'll dress up for my patients, but I won't.
Here's two or three costumes Mary should not dress up as for her patients. Number 1, an angel, because too soon.
I know what you're gonna say next.
Number 2, a demon, because too soon.
I thought you were gonna say the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper.
Especially because I'm a hospice nurse. It's probably inappropriate.
Yes. I'd be like, I'd fucking die. I'd pee my pants. If like you showed me a picture of that, I'd be like, fucking Mary, you crossed the line. Like I
would get fired, I'm sure.
That's too much. I mean, look, we just laugh about it. It's funny, right? But, I know you take your job, your career seriously, and I do too and all that, but it's just a funny joke,
Yeah.
But no, it's cool because you get to dress up though. You get to go out and see our patients.
Yes. And so I wanted to talk about the movie that we kind of discussed it in the last episode, which is the Terrifier movies. We had talked about how I believe the movie came out. Hold on one second. Was it October? The beginning of October?
It was October 6th, actually. It was a Thursday night.
Yes. And so this is the second of the Terrifier movies by
Yes.
Damien Leone, who shares a name as you.
Yes.
And if you guys do go see it, wait till the end of the movie because Leone is on there.
That's
at the
crazy,
end.
huh?
This Leone, the
Yes.
one on this podcast.
Yeah, that's so crazy, yeah.
It is. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
So let's talk about the movie. So for those of, obviously, word of mouth, and this is one of the things that I've mentioned. I'm not into horror. I'm not into even like suspenseful, ghost, demonic type stuff because I'm scared.
I know.
And so I had mentioned Leone was working on it. Leone had told me that he was, like it's part of it. It's partly financed, right, or it's under the Bloody Disgusting umbrella.
Yes, they bought the exclusive rights to distribute the film.
In
theaters and also on their own streaming platform, which is called Screambox.
Yes, and then so I now noticed that Damien Leone completed the script for the sequel, and I'll have you tell the story, but I think I have to mention this, is in February of 2019, but he did not sell the rights to Art the Clown to bigger studios, so he secured funding from private investors.
Yes.
And so I believe the campaign was 250,000.
Yeah.
K.
Yeah, through Indiegogo.
Yes. The point is, this is how much it took to make the movie. For the most part, right?
Yeah, pretty much, and it's what they call an independent film budget. It's a low budget film.
Mm-hmm.
That's because if you look at how many people are in the film, and there's a reason for that, because he did a bunch of different things because of the pandemic, but
Mm-hmm.
his whole idea was that the first movie was so successful that he wanted to raise money. I think if I remember, he wanted to raise like 50,000, I think, for the second movie. That's it,
So let's talk about Art the Clown.
Okay, so first off, before you do, you got to tell your listeners that if you have not seen the movie, okay, Terrifier 2, because Mary might talk about certain things.
Yeah, I'm gonna not spoil anything, guys. I promise.
Okay, just want to double check, just because if you haven't seen it, if you want to see it, we might be talking about some things, and you might just be warned.
Yes, I'm not gonna spoil any of it, but I will say that the only reason I went to watch it is because Leone, right? Your connection to it. And two, I kept seeing videos and TikToks of people passing out or, being seen by ambulances. Again, this was a small budget movie, and we'll talk about where it's at. I mean, it's word of mouth spreading right now, but I thought you would fill us in on Art the Clown and Damien Leone's quest to now conquer this genre.
And first off, thank you for going out to support this movie. I know it's not something, horror movies are not your thing. I know that's tough to go out and sit through one. And I warned you, and I warned everybody. This is one of the most extreme things you'll see. Now, it doesn't mean that it's scary. Because for me, clowns do not scare me. And extreme things don't scare me. To me, they're just extreme things, because I've seen a lot of these things in real life, and those things haunt me, but when I watch a movie, I'm like, oh, it's fake, and it's cool. How did they do that, So yeah, thank you for going out and supporting. I really, do appreciate it. Filmmakers, they appreciate it. They're grateful for people like you that went out and checked it out. But Damien's story is interesting because it goes back to like 2002 or something. So it's almost like 20 years in the making, I think way back then he did a short, and then he made a movie called All Hallows Eve. Mm-hmm. And it's like an anthology. So it's like little stories, and in there's Art the Clown. Mm-hmm. And one of his best friends played Art the Clown, not the same actor that you saw. Okay. Different. And Art the Clown, he's just this mime, it's like a black and white clown. It's a very simple clown suit, and he just has white face, black lips, rotting teeth, and he's a murderous clown, He doesn't talk, doesn't say a word, So after that, he got the idea, because he's a special effects makeup artist, he got the idea of making a movie called Terrifier that features Art the Clown. And remember, at the time, we had Pennywise, we had It. Super popular. That movie made like $1 billion or something, based on Stephen King's book, right? And it's Pennywise the dancing clown. Look at me, kids, and he talks to you and he jokes with you and then he fucking kills you, or whatever, kidnaps you, eats you, whatever, right? So he said, hey, I'm gonna make a clown that doesn't talk. On Halloween night, he's gonna murder people, right? Simple. That was the first Terrifier movie. And in that movie, there's very limited number of actors. There might be like 10 actors maybe in the whole movie, Simple premise. Halloween night, the story starts out with, 2 girls walking the streets of New York, just leaving the Halloween party bar, situation. And they go to a pizza joint to go, because they're both drunk, They go to a pizza joint just to go wear off the alcohol, so they can drive home. And that's where they meet Art the Clown inside the pizza joint. He starts to stalk them, and then the violence starts. The story unfolds. And the movie was a cult favorite. Mind you, this one never went to theaters. It never, I think it went to DVD, and then people started buying it. And they're like, "Oh, this is crazy!" And then like Netflix,
wow, I didn't know that.
I think like Netflix, because it was on Netflix for a while, and then it's on Tubi right now. So if any of you listening want to watch the original Terrifier from 2016, you can watch it for free. It's on Tubi right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was on streaming, and then it just became like even more famous, cult following, because again, people saw it. I heard nothing about it till a friend told me, dude, you got to watch this movie. And I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. And after I watched the movie, I had to like watch some Disney cartoons before I went to sleep, because I'm like, that's crazy. And mind you, that's one scene in the movie, okay?
That got you, huh?
One scene, yeah. Everybody talks about it. Everybody talks about that scene. And again, you watch it, you're like, this is fake, but you're like, damn, how is that? Like, it looks real, Now, mind you, what you saw, Mary, Terrifier 2, was 20 times worse than what I saw with Terrifier 1, okay? So keep that in mind.
Now, so basically, Terrifier, the original, right? So the character was introduced in an anthology of horrors. The first one,
actually, that's All Hallows Eve, the anthology.
Yes.
And then Terrifier 1 is just a movie. It's not an anthology. It's just the Art the Clown movie. Yeah.
And then that one was not in theaters, but it became a cult classic.
Yeah.
And then, so he didn't give up the rights.
No.
And made this second one. Wait, but didn't he also come out in other movies?
No.
Art the Clown?
No. This is it. So the idea was to make a second movie, and he said, I want to raise, I think it was like 50,000, right? It wasn't that much money. And when you get that little money for a creative filmmaker, they do some crazy stuff with it, So he has a whole team of production people, makeup and producers and all that, and they're all his friends, that are all, I mean, I'm sure everybody worked for free on these films, Right. Because it's like, things cost money, like lighting, camera, equipment, and prosthetic effects, and moldings and all that costs money, So, but for this one was crazy, because all he wanted to reach, I think, was 50,000. He ended up raising like 250,000, I believe.
Right.
Way more, because the fans from the first movie were like, hell yeah, like I want to donate, And when you do something like that, I don't know, have you ever seen when you donate what you get in return?
No.
It's pretty cool, because I think Rob Zombie did this with his last movie, 30 from Hell. You get a prize package, like if you donate like $25, $50 or $100, depending on what you donate, you get a prize package, right? Autographed stuff, t-shirts exclusive from the movie that you can't buy anywhere, like different things, posters, different things, right? Like a little package. So I think he did some of that. But then I think he also put some of these people in the actual movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
And there's a scene, and it could be, I'm actually surprised that the mainstream media has not talked about this scene. And all I will mention, it's the clown cafe scene where the kids are singing. That scene, I believe all of those are the donors.
Wow.
Or, I mean, some of the donors, not all of them, some of them.
Right.
So not only put them in the movie, but it's like you get to be a part of something crazy that's about to happen,
Right. And so the movie came out at the beginning of this month.
Yes.
How many theaters?
October 6th.
Were showing.
I think it started. It was a low number at first, and then by the time opening night came out, because I went to go see it opening night, and it was, I think, 800 theaters by that time, or actually it might have been like 600, and then by Sunday, like 4 days later, it was like 800 theaters or something. And opening night alone, it made $400,000. So it doubled its budget
on opening night.
Yeah, on opening night alone. And this is a movie that's uncut, unrated, and for a lot of people that don't know, you can't put an NC-17 movie in a theater. And you can't go to Regal theaters and AMC theaters to see NC-17. This movie's not even NC-17. This is beyond NC-17, as you saw, Mary. It's not rated. They didn't even want to get a rating. They didn't even want anyone to tell them to cut anything out,
Right.
And they just wanted to see, can we do it, right? But when I say they, it's the Bloody Disgusting team, because they want the rights to put this in the theaters, right? So, and the only way you can do this is if you call it a special event. So
did not know that.
So if you look,
I didn't realize it was not rated.
Yeah.
I see how you guys getting around it.
Yeah, because you can't put unrated in theaters, but if you call it a special event, and special events cannot be there every single day, I don't think. So what they did is, like, if it was playing at your theater today, it wasn't the next day. But it was somewhere nearby anyways, So maybe not your favorite theater, but it's still in a theater nearby. So it would alternate days. And I think maybe that's how they got around the censorship, like, because, like, look, just so you people know, when I say the movie's extreme, there is no rape in this movie. There's no rapey scenes or rape torture scenes. It's not like one of those Hostel movies or anything. No, there's violence and there's murders, yes, and torture, yes, but no, there's not even nudity in this movie. Like the first one, there is nudity, but not in this one. So, it's just, hey, killer clown on the loose again on Halloween night, So I want to know your experience, Mary, because when I went to opening night, I think there might have been 100 people in the theater, and then, but a few days later, the theater started getting more and more filled, word of mouth, and people started going, then the story started coming out.
Posting TikToks.
Yes. Yeah. And the story started coming out about, like, people getting sick and leaving the theater and all that. So it's like, I mean, because the movie gets violent within the first 2 minutes.
Right.
Like, what were your thoughts immediately? What were your thoughts?
Well, initially, I think I was trying to get like an earlier showing and it was sold out.
Right.
So I was able to get, I think it was like a 10 o'clock, really late showing.
Yeah.
So I covered my eyes. Let's just say that. It took me by surprise how quick it was.
Right.
So I grew more bold as the movie went on, if that makes sense. Tried not to cover my eyes as much, but it was definitely a few times I think I was vocal. I don't know how else to explain it without giving anything away. I'm terrible at keeping secrets.
Like you were like, no.
Yeah, so I'm trying not to
Yeah.
ruin it.
Yeah.
I'm being good on my word, but yeah.
And just for reference, where the first movie ends is exactly where the second movie picks up, like in the same moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a little confusing to you what was going on, but
So I picked up on that.
yeah.
As the movie progressed,
Right.
I picked up on it. The other thing too, I wanted to mention. So I went for a friend's birthday to a brewery not too far from me, and they had asked what I was doing later, and I mentioned that I was seeing this, and one of the guys was like, "Oh my God, I heard about it," and he's like not necessarily into like those type of movies, but he wanted to go see it because he heard people were passing out.
Yeah.
And so I sent him the link you sent me of the original one on Tubi. So definitely word of mouth is definitely, you guys had no marketing, right?
No, nothing.
And then so when I left and I came home, I believe I texted you because the one and only Stephen King tweeted.
Yes.
On October 20th, Terrifier 2, grossing you out old school. What better marketing do you need than that?
Right. And
how did you guys take it?
It was amazing. I mean, I've just been following all the stories and the links, and the filmmakers and the actors have as well. But the amazing part is that Forbes magazine, okay, we're talking about money investing, right? Mm-hmm. There's 6 articles on Forbes about this movie.
Yeah. And I saw New York Times put out one.
LA Times, Yahoo, Yahoo Finance.
Oh, yeah.
On the morning news, KTLA, Chris Jericho, the wrestler, WWE wrestler, who's in the movie, by the way.
Oh my God, was he the security guard?
Yes.
Yeah. I knew he looked familiar.
Yeah.
I was saying, I was like, but I don't trust my mind nowadays. So.
Right. So yeah, he has a part.
Nice.
So it's crazy that one of the just watching. Okay, so this is if any of you out there want to know how to do something right, it's look at what the filmmakers of this movie did, the filmmakers, the producers, and the actors, and that is they've been interacting with everyone. Anyone who's tweeted at them or sent them or posted or drew artwork, whatever, they've been reposting, they've been posting thank you, they've been so, and people are shocked. They're like, oh my God, I didn't expect him to reply. I didn't expect her to reply, and it's just like, because they're all grateful. This is a movie that should have been in theaters one night and that was it. But people came out and they're still coming out.
And it was like weekend after weekend kind of.
Yeah.
Are we going to still be on the weekend on the theaters?
Right.
And now I believe it's over 1,000 theaters.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes. When I was contacted by somebody associated with the distribution companies, and after the first opening weekend, and he was telling me, he goes, I would love to keep the movie in theaters for another week. And I was like, I started asking him questions. I'm like, well, what would stop it? And he told me some insider information details, what would have to happen so that the movie, they pull it out from theaters, And then he said, man, it'd be so great if we can have the movie through Halloween, through the end of the month, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, man, that'd be amazing. Like, that would be so mind-blowing because the movie cost nothing to make. And, the actors really gave it their all. Sure, there are some funny scenes, but the lead girl, she's great. Her brother, your little brother, he's great. And the crazy mom, the crazy East Coast, crazy mom, she's great. Yeah. The killer clown, he's great. So there are light moments in the movie. Sure, they're funny, but as you saw, Mary is extremely violent. and probably scary at times. Probably some things might have scared you, right? Maybe.
Yeah. There were certain things. I wouldn't say scared me. Well, there was one character that creeped me out.
Ah,
Really.
yes.
Well, I won't mention. She really creeped me out.
Yes.
There was, how would I say? It was more the gore of it.
Yeah.
That got me.
Yeah.
So again, guys, it was, you know, 250,000 to make, right?
Yeah.
So it's not it budget, right? But I can see why people are. I can see a really long future for the character. I think you guys made it as far as like the distribution won't be an issue now. I don't think.
Well, it's definitely. I mean, the reason why there were a bunch of articles on Yahoo and Forbes and all that is because this defied gravity, defied all the odds, right? I mean, look at what's in theater last weekend. Halloween Ends, right?
Yeah, and I think I read that I think it did well the first weekend, and then the next weekend it dropped significantly.
Yeah, I saw it a month ago because we had to talk to Jamie Lee Curtis,
Yeah.
and she's been with the franchise for 44 years, and I think what is it, 4 or 5 movies she's in, so she's an icon because she's not only the first final girl, but she's also one of the first scream queens, so she holds that title for both of them, and I did enjoy how that movie played out and how it ended. But I knew the second the movie ended, I'm like, man, this is going to be divisive. People are going to respect it and people are going to hate it. And sure enough, I just kept seeing the hate, and I'm like, guys, yeah, like I understand, because who's the iconic killer? It's Michael Myers, and Michael Myers, they needed more of him in the movie, and it just played out. The movie plays out differently, but I did like what they did with it. So I like that they dared to be different, but the fans, I don't think, cared, But interesting that movie is in theaters right now. And Smile is another one that wasn't supposed to make money and it kept making money. And now we have Terrifier, who should not have made any money because it's just too extreme. And, and the thing is, people are curious. People out there are purposely curious.
Ah, I like what you did there.
Like, why is my friend Mary so curious to see this movie?
But also keep in mind, Leone's not on TikTok. I sent him all these TikToks, and I sent him a TikTok, 2 weeks ago, where I was like, someone posted a TikTok, literally less than a minute long, saying, came to see this movie. The paramedics are here taking care of my friend.
Yes.
And you see the paramedics outside of the hallway of the theater. And within 24 hours, that video was seen by 3.4 million people, liked 1 million times. And I always tell Leone, TikTok is the way to go for music stuff. If you like marketing, it's like the best thing.
Right.
I mean, and that was in less than 24 hours. When I sent it to you,
Yeah.
It had already been seen by 3 million people.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I could post that on Instagram and nobody would care. Like 55 people might see that,
Yeah. And that's one of the things I like about TikTok is just like random stuff. And I learn stuff, and then there's a lot of stupid shit, like.
Right.
But I think, the power of it, I always make fun of people who post 6-month-old TikToks on IG Reels 6 months later.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Leone.
I know, right?
Get with it. No, I'm just kidding.
So this movie, I mean, yes, the movie is a crazy killer clown Halloween night killing people, right? And then he kills a lot of people, right? What I loved about this movie is that it sets up the whole mythology, right? Because here you have a new final girl, Sienna, played by Lauren Lavera, and she's dressed up as what?
Like a superhero.
Well, like an angel, right?
Yeah.
Like a warrior angel, right? Like imagine like a Wonder Woman with wings, right? Like she's a badass, But it's something that like it's connected to her father, right? So there's something like there's a bigger story that is going to be told in the future that is going to explain, because the clown is clearly evil, right? Possibly even like demonic, like super evil. And now you have this girl who's an angel. And it's like kind of like the battle between good and evil, you know? So the movie is definitely giving you all these clues to set up like a bigger thing going forward, you know?
Right.
And there's a lot of mysteries because, you know, they mentioned this, they mentioned that. Where is this person? You know, what is the wait a minute? The clown is human? Is he not human? You know, what's going on? You know,
Yeah.
the little girl. What's the little girl? You know, is she real or is she not real? You know.
Yeah. And without giving anything away, I was more confused at the end by the ending. So it's kind of like, what is he? You know?
Yeah.
But I don't want to give anything away.
I'll explain it to you. I'll explain it to you after.
Yeah, I don't want to give anything away. But I was just, you're asking these questions. What is he? You know? So it does lead me to, I'm just going to leave it at that. The more I talk, I'm not trying to ruin it for anyone. I'm sticking to that.
No, you know, it's funny because if you compare it to like Pennywise from the movie It, like the Pennywise story goes back thousands of years, actually probably millions of years. And his probably, I can't remember, his true form is actually a turtle or something stupid, right? Something so ridiculous. Like Stephen King was on acid when he wrote it or something. It's like so ridiculous, you know? And that's why in that movie, he shows up to the different kids as whatever scares them.
Yeah.
You know? So, and one of them is a clown. He's scared of clowns. So this mythological creature thing shows up as a clown. And usually for that, most of the movie stays as a clown, you know? But yeah, it's kind of setting up something like that. I don't know if it's going to go back into the past really far, you know, to show that this Art the Clown, you know, is something crazy, ancient, you know, but I don't know. I don't know like what their plan is, you know? But I did like the little things that they introduced, like the little girl. That scared me.
Yeah.
You know?
So I didn't want to give it away, but since you're talking about her, yeah, I was really creeped out.
We can mention
when
her.
I said I was creeped out, I was more creeped out by her.
Yes.
The little girl than anything else. Like one thing is like, okay, I'm grossed out. I'm not looking. I'm covering my eyes, but she creeped me out.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, and she's titled as the pale little girl. That's what she's called. So we don't know much about her. Actually, no, there is a hint in the movie as to who she is and what happened to her. So there is a story there to explore as well, you know. So the movie's crazy. The movie's crazy, and then you get to the craziest scene in the movie.
Don't give it away.
I won't give it away, but it's in the bedroom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't give it away.
What I didn't realize is that the pandemic hit when they started to film that. And he went back and he's like, man, everything shut down. And he came up with the idea of how to make that scene longer. That's why that scene is the craziest scene, because it's longer. And it keeps coming back to, if you notice, it keeps coming back. And then somebody else shows up and you're like, oh fuck, you're like, more? Really?
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
But again, when you do something fake, I can see it, you know? I'm like, that's a rubber body. That's not real.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this looked real to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And if you watched at the end, right? We did a little behind the scenes thing. They showed that scene, and they showed you how they made that scene. And I was just like crazy.
Yes, guys. And if you guys want to watch the end of it, you'll see Leone there. Leone.
So yes, the whole story with that, Mary, is that we were asked to do a recording with them, right? A behind the scenes recording, you know. And I think the behind the scenes recording conversation was 2 hours long. And they were like, "Hey, we're going to take a part of this and we're going to put it with a movie. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what? You know, so they're like, yeah, at the end of the movie, we'll do a little special. So they took the part of our 2-hour conversation about that specific bedroom scene and other things, right? Because I mentioned one other thing. Somebody mentioned my co-host mentioned another thing. And they put an 8-minute behind the scenes, making of how they did some of this, and basically it's a conversation with Damien Leone, the director and writer, special effects guy, and Art the Clown himself, David Howard Thornton. We had a conversation with them too. And, and not only that, I mean, it's such an honor. It's such an honor that, what I'm saying? It's like, this is crazy. Like, I'm attached to one of the biggest talked about movies ever right now in theaters. Like, if you stay to the end, you will see me and my co-host from the podcast,
Yeah. And I think more so, it's not the fact that it's like a huge blockbuster thing. This is one of those cult classics that it's in the making, essentially. Right. People are going to be talking about, even though, it's not everyone's thing, right? People are going to be talking about it. Like, people still talk about Jennifer's Body, which, am I correct in the name?
Yes.
That, maybe it bombed or it didn't do as well, right? But it has such a big following now.
Yeah.
And I feel like this might be bigger. Who knows?
Oh yeah. I mean, it might be different. Also, it depends on the audience, right? Mm-hmm. Like I couldn't get you to go see this movie, but you saw it out of curiosity, and also you were like, "Hey, my friend's in this. I want to, And I mean, I'm touched. I'm very touched that you would actually go see it, because, like I told you, Mary, this is the worst you'll probably see. Like, there's no other. Okay, there's one other movie that's worse, but for different reasons. Mm-hmm. But this one's like the worst,
Yeah.
Like, now, if you want to watch anything else, you'll be fine, So I know, it's incredible that they gave us this opportunity to do this with them. And the crazy thing is, it's not only is it making money in the box office, but it's the #1 movie on Amazon pre-order right now.
Wow.
And that 2-hour conversation is on the DVD.
Nice.
The whole thing. So yeah. So if you missed the movie in theaters, are very curious about it, a couple things are happening. Halloween, it's a few days away, October 31st. The movie will be streaming. It'll be in theaters, but also streaming on our platform called Screenbox. If you really want to watch it, it'll be on there streaming. And then soon, it'll be on DVD, Blu-ray DVD, if you buy DVDs or collect,
Mm-hmm.
So it was an honor. It was an honor for us. And this is the first time, because I think we've done 4 or 5 DVD commentaries, for some recent horror movies over the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And those were an honor. Those are fun. And we did this for this one, but also to be featured in a theater. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. My mom told me she wants to go, and I go, Mom, I know you want to see me, whatever, and it's a short thing, whatever, but the movie's crazy.
Let her see it.
No.
If I survived, your mom is going to survive. I just covered my eyes for a lot of it. I laughed a few times because, like when you're like laughing, I can't believe that's happening.
Right.
I don't know if it was like nervous laugh, but I laughed a few times.
Yeah, there were some funny. There were some moments that are dark, but they were still funny. You're just like, what?
Yeah. Anyway, the things I do for you, Leone. The things
I owe you. I guess what you're trying to say is that I owe you, right? And yes, I do. And if it's your therapy bills, fine. Just I'll Venmo you money, whatever. I'm like, that's fine. But it's a fun movie. If you grew up watching movies like Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, where you always look forward to these characters killing people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a movie for you. This is who it was made for. It's a slasher movie,
Yeah.
If you like paranormal, witchy thinking horror movies that are different, like, this is probably not for you, because you have to be okay with blood, because within 2 minutes of the movie, you're going to see a lot of blood, and it gets crazier. but it's a fun ride. It's a fun ride, and the fact that it was made for nothing, and it's making money, and it's making history. It's making box office history, actually. So, it's amazing what these guys did, and going forward, I hope they can all continue to work together. I hope the actors come back, and
Mm-hmm.
and because there's more story to tell,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fun. Like I said, it's not for everyone, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's one of my personal Halloween picks out there. So if you want to stream it or go to the theaters, check it out. I highly recommend it. Since it's Halloween week.
Yes. Yes. So this has been really fun, and just the fact that you got me out there.
I can't believe you went.
I know.
I can't believe you went.
And now, if for the next one, Terrifier 3, I'm gonna be there. Okay. The only one I'm gonna watch.
I mean, that it can't get worse. It can't.
We'll wait and see.
I mean, he even said, he goes, look, there's lines I won't cross. He didn't say what the lines are, but I pretty much can tell you he's probably not going to show rape, that kind of crazy stuff. Like, that's not his thing,
Yeah.
It's just a simple,
I appreciate.
Yes, me too, because it's like, I told you, I saw a movie that I'm still scarred by that movie that I saw. And I don't even say the name, and I don't even say the name of it. I don't even tell people, I'm like, I don't even want to tell you, because out of curiosity, people watch it and they're like, why'd you watch that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know what was going to happen. And then I saw what happened, and I'm like, I don't know how to unsee this,
Yeah.
To me, that's not art. To me, that's just trash. It's torture porn trash,
Yeah.
But to each his own, some people think it's art, and appreciate, extreme stuff, male, female, minors, families, whatever. It's like, it's not my thing,
Yeah.
But it is Halloween week. Are you planning on going to any other events?
No, so I'm going to a Halloween party on Saturday, which is the first Halloween. It's like an annual Halloween party that they have. It's like exclusive to a certain amount of people or certain people. And so this is the first one they have.
Is it a private
since
party
the
or
pandemic.
club?
It's a private.
Oh, cool.
No, it's private. It's private. There's no one gets in unless it's us kind of thing.
Nice.
But it's this year, I think everyone's super excited.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
God, it's so
but
cool.
that's really the only thing I have on Saturday, unless my friends and us decide to do something last minute Monday night, but I don't think so. We'll see. I might have to buy candy if any kids come around, but I don't think kids come around my door. I'm trying to remember the last few years. I mean, it was the pandemic, but
I was going to ask you though,
recall.
What does that downtown area look like? Like, I know that's sort of near you, Does it light up for Halloween? Is like are the happening places?
I know that there's like a night where they actually have people park their people park their cars and have candy for the kids, and it's like a whole Halloween thing.
Right.
Didn't you and I go?
Yes, we did, right?
We did, didn't I?
We did.
Yes, I just had a flashback. Other than that, I'm not sure that they do anything other than that. But I do remember you and I took a walk, a little stroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Well, that's cool.
Yes, I just remembered. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. How about you? Said you're not doing anything.
Yeah, I got nothing planned for now. Last night I went to Haunted Hayride.
Oh, how was it? That's by Griffith Park?
Yes.
Yeah.
We went to film something for Disney, actually.
You guys were filming for Disney?
Yeah.
Can I ask what you guys were filming?
Yes. It's something. So, did I tell you about the movie called Barbarian that came out like 2 months ago?
The movie Barbarian?
Yes.
Yes.
It is on HBO Max, I'm told, right now.
Oh, is it on HBO Max?
Yes.
I have HBO Max.
I recommend it, Mary. I recommend it.
Okay.
Trust me, it's not like, it's not crazy like this one, okay? It's a Airbnb horror movie.
Oh, yes.
It's the one where the girl shows up and there's a guy already staying at their place and they're like, wait a minute, it's my place. No, it's my place. It's raining. Where should I, It's that story. That's the only part they show in the previews. And that's all you need to know.
Okay.
I saw that at the Disney studio lot like 3.5 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
That movie terrified me.
Wow.
There's
So were you guys doing press for it?
So funny story. There's 2 characters in the movie. Okay. One is a homeless guy. Okay. You will know exactly when you see this movie. His name is Andre. And 2, I can't reveal who he plays yet because they would spoil the movie for you. But shocking. She plays a shocking character. Okay.
Okay.
They both showed up with us at the LA Haunted Hayride last night, just so because they have I think it's sponsored by Huluween. This year Haunted Hayride, there's Huluween everywhere.
Oh yeah, then it's sponsored.
Yeah, and Hulu is Disney.
Yeah,
you know,
Hulu is. Yeah.
And Barbarian was made by 20th Century Studios, which is now owned by Disney. You know, they have a booth next to one of the haunted mazes for Barbarian. Like they have the bed from the movie. There's a bed that's covered with stains, which like you would think they're blood stains, you know, they're like dried, you know, like old, you know, and there's a video camera. Like that's something you see in the movie quickly, and that just fucking creeps you out because you're like, something's wrong here. Like somebody's up to no good, right? So they have that set up for photo op. Like you can go take a photo, sit on the bed, you know. So so we have these 2 characters from the movie, and we just talked briefly about the movie, and then we went through one of the haunted mazes with them, and it was hilarious because the whole thing's caught on video.
Nice.
And one of them has never been in a haunted maze, so he was terrified of the things just jumping out, scaring him, you know. And the other one, who plays that character that I can't tell you about in the movie, was also startled and really like into it, you know. So it was a fun experience. I think we're gonna release the video in the next couple of days here
on the streaming.
No, it's gonna be like on YouTube or something.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know, and it was fun. It was fun that Disney gave us, you know, because these are 2 characters in the movie, important characters in the movie, that we didn't get to talk to before, you know.
Yeah.
So we have to do that live in person, and then also go into one of the haunted mazes, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
And this year, if you're thinking of something to do, the LA Haunted Hayride is pretty cool this year. It's big. There's a lot going on there. They have a festival area. They have vendors. They have food. They have these haunted houses you walk through, and the one we went through was fucking scary. Like they got me good a few times, you know. There's photo ops, like the bed from Barbarian, you know. There's different places, bunch of pumpkins and stuff, you know. Then there's a hayride, you know.
The basic bitch stuff for the Instagram.
Yeah, right. But and I think it's open nightly through Halloween night. So if you're looking for something fun to do, something different, there you go. It's like haunted hayride. You know, it's something fun to do if you have no plans, looking for something.
Yeah.
That's one of them. And I know that the Shack has that thing at the Queen Mary. I don't know what is it called, Shacktober or Shackoween or something, or
yeah, there's a bunch of stuff
something
out
like
there.
that.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that you bring up the Halloween hayride. I got one of my best epic pictures there years ago.
That's funny.
I was wearing like cowboy boots, short shorts, and a long cardigan, and they had this setup of a bike pulling a coffin, and my friend was in the coffin, but like he had like a darker complexion. He has a darker complexion, but the lighting of maybe the camera was really bad because it was nighttime.
Right.
He's sticking his head up, but it looks really creepy from his eyes. Like,
oh, that's funny.
And I'm like looking cute, like, you know, like on the bike or whatever. And it's so crazy. Like, it's like one of my most favorite pictures ever.
Right.
I'll have to look for it. It's on my Facebook. I have not logged into my Facebook in months.
That's funny.
But I'll send it to you. But it was there actually, many, many years ago. Oh my God.
That's hilarious.
Where are those cowboy boots? I thought I saved them. I need to look for them, but it was a good shot. It was a good shot. The lighting just made my friend look like he was actually a corpse, like coming out.
That's funny. Wow.
Yeah.
There's yeah, there, and like, you know, if you have no plans, if you're listening to this and you're not in LA, you have no plans going out wherever you are, there is a lot of great horror movies to watch this Halloween season between now and Halloween. You know, we're beyond. If you're like me, you have to watch them all year round, you know. But there's lots, and I was thinking maybe I should give you a recommendation, Mary, and maybe you could post it on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you a list, and then you could post it. And
I
just
think
be
you
like,
should.
Just my picks, you know.
Yes.
My recommendations.
Leone's picks.
And
my horror movie picks are none. Did I tell you the story when I decided I wasn't going to watch these movies? Did I ever tell you this?
I think, if I remember correctly, it had something to do with the movie. Oh my God, what was it called? 7 Days. What was it called?
Emmeritville Horror.
Oh, I got the wrong movie then.
Yeah.
I thought it was a 7 Days movie. The Ring. The Ring.
No. So that movie, I went to see it in theater with someone I was dating at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I screamed so loud, the whole theater laughed at me. And I decided, I was embarrassed. I almost cried because they were laughing. Yeah. So after that,
they're
I said,
supporting
I'm not
you.
doing it.
They're supporting you. I support the screamers. I do.
Oh my God. I've never been laughed at by hundreds of people. That was embarrassing.
No.
So I'm not doing it again. But I just cover my eyes and I told you this. I think I'm pretty sure I
did, but I got the movie wrong. I thought it was The Ring, but it wasn't. So it was Amityville Horror.
Yeah, and I can't even remember. It wasn't anything. I think it's.
Is it the one with Ryan?
Yes.
Okay.
But I think it's more the sudden. You know, like when the music is really loud in a movie.
Yeah.
And it's like someone just shows up and the music is like super loud, and I think because I wasn't expecting them.
Right.
It wasn't even probably a scary bit of the movie, and I think that's why people laughed at me so much.
Right.
I think it was, you know how they do that. They'll build it and then they'll like show a character like out of nowhere. Those startle me for some reason, and I screamed. So I think that's why it wasn't a scary bit, and I think that's why they all laughed at me.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway.
They're all going to laugh at you. They're all going to laugh at you. They're all going to laugh at you. No.
The beginning of my horror movie is my fear.
That's funny.
Of being laughed at. So.
Well, if you if you stay home, there's plenty to watch, which is awesome. Because usually every year it's kind of like, well, what channel is playing the same 80s Friday the 13th Part 6, Halloween 6? It's like over and over. You know what I'm saying? It's like this year there's a lot of new stuff that you can watch on Hulu, HBO Max, Shudder, AMC, so there's I'm gonna recommend some, and if you could post it for anybody listening who's into it.
I'm gonna post it and tag you in it if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So you guys can follow Leone.
Creepy.
Well, thank you, Leone, for joining me on this episode.
Yeah, thank you.
And I just want to tell everyone, if you guys do go see the Terrifier 2, wait to the end of the movie to see yours truly, Leone, on there. And also, maybe I'll post the YouTube video when you guys what is it? The bar. Oh my God, Barbarian.
Oh, yes.
When you guys publish.
Yeah, we're going to publish that soon. And that was fun. I recommend anybody who is curious about the movie, watch that movie. It is something that terrified me. Remember, I keep telling you that what scares people is always something different?
Yeah.
I'll bet you that you'll watch that movie and you'll be like, whatever, right? But for me, that movie scares me.
Yeah. All right, maybe I will.
Because sometimes,
maybe I'll watch it actual Halloween night since it's on HBO Max.
HBO Max?
with all the lights on.
And like I've confessed my sins to you, and I told you that for me, I have a fear of drowning, claustrophobia. So if you see that in some of these movies, then you'll understand why it terrifies me.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you, Mary, for having me. This has been fantastic, and a happy Halloween week, and hope you get to do a bunch of fun stuff out there listening. Mary, I want some stories and pictures.
Yes, and happy Halloween to everyone who, be safe, stay safe. And our goal is to make it so that Halloween is huge in the UK in the coming decades.
Yeah, right. We're gonna spread over there.
Spread it over there.
Spread the Halloween virus over there.
Oh, by the way, you know how we talked on the Tallboy radio? We mentioned how people really go big out here with their decor in front of their homes.
Yeah.
I sent them like 2 videos that were on like Instagram of the skeletons, those super big skeletons that are as big as houses here.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I sent it to them. And then I don't know if you saw the House of all the horror characters that I walked into in LA.
Yes.
I sent them that, and I was like, I wasn't kidding, guys. This is literally how crazy we're out here. So that, anyways, just wanted to share that. But yeah, thank you. Everyone stay safe, and thanks for making it this far.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Bye. That was episode 95 of the Purposely Curious podcast. Make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on most podcast platforms. And follow us on social media at Purposely Curious on Instagram and at Purposely CPod on Twitter. That's Purposely, the letter C, pod. Until next time. Bye.